Alright. This is about, like, how to properly attack. Like, it started with this game. This game I played where I got a really strong attack and I actually got a brilliant move. It started with me bringing up my knight, and I tried to play this in like a Nimzo Indian style. Which is why I did this. And when I did this, I pinned the knight and took it because that's how you play the Nimzo. And we traded a couple more pieces. They attacked my queen. They're supposed to play this. But I played knight f6 now because they made the wrong move. And here, they took it expecting me to take my queen, but instead I took with the pawn because I'm going to play queen e7 and long castle and use the open g file to attack him. As you'll see later on in the game, that was crucial for my attack. So one thing, open files if you can. Open files if you can to try and attack them. They played this because they want to get queen h5 to check and force me to move my king. And I just allowed it. They played it immediately. And I could have played queen f7, but I just moved my king, which was actually the best move, as weird as it looks, because my king's actually safe, and very soon I can just play rook d8 and king c8, and I've kind of just castled by hand. So, but look at my bishop. It's staring at g2. I mirror the open g file. I can bring my rooks onto it and build the pressure. So that was another idea. They played d5 attacking, trying to open lines on my king. Like, also, this is another important thing. If you can use pawns to open up your opponent's king in the attack. They played this. Apparently, I was supposed to trade queens by playing queen to e8. Apparently, I was supposed to play this, but I didn't want to trade queens because that brings us to our next thing. If you want to attack, you can't really trade the queens because the queen's the strongest piece. You need to use it to attack. They played this. I took my bishop. They played this. I moved my rook to g8, immediately attacking g2. Like, don't let your opponent consolidate if you're in attack. And they played this. I attacked their queen. They moved it back here. I doubled the rooks on the g file to build even more pressure. e4, bishop b7, here queen a4. And another thing, you have to make sure your king is safe before you go on an attack, so that's why I played king c8. And it looks like white can take on a7, that looks very scary, but if they do take on a7, then h5 gets very scary, because the bishop covers this, so there's not really anything, and white brings a rook, then they're going to move this, they're just going to get destroyed. So, yeah, while a7's hanging, it's not really that scary. Rook e2, and again, going on to making sure your king's safe. I played king b8, just to make sure that they can't take on a7, because even if my king is still safe, it was still a pawn, and a pawn is important in the endgame. I didn't intend to make this an endgame, but just in case, like, prepare to have an endgame. And they played this, and attack with pawns if you can. If you can remove if you can remove your opponent's kingside defenders, or just wherever their king is, then do it, because like that's why I played h5, because I wanted to play h4 and just rip his position apart. And here, they actually messed it up. Knight f5. And it's actually game over. It might be difficult to see, but white is completely lost. Because of one move. Rook takes f5. And the idea is, after they take, I played this check. If they go to h1, which is the best move, rook takes rook, king moves over, not taking the free rook, but instead playing this check, so the king's forced to go here. And there's probably more checkmates, but this is checkmate. There's probably a couple more. This is also checkmate. There's a lot of checkmates, probably. So they went to f1. I took, and they resigned. Because they can't do anything. They can throw a bunch of random pieces in to delay it, but they can't stop checkmate. One more thing. If you're going to play a move like this, make sure that they cannot do anything. Like, calculate, like, white's calculate your opponent's most like solid defensive moves. And also, if they took the rook here, this is checkmate. So, like, make sure your sacrifice is actually sound, because if you don't, then you're just going to lose the end game. Like this, I saw that if they took, then they cannot survive, which I did take, and look. Engine immediately says mate in 5. Like, I actually didn't fully see what happens after king h1. I just saw this and knew that I'm a rook up, so even if there isn't a mate, then I knew that I just knew there's likely gonna be some sort of checkmate, and even if there's not, I'm a rook up, so I'm gonna win the endgame regardless. Versus white could like block with the queen here, just trying to delay it, but it doesn't even delay it. Like, make sure that your sacrifices are sound, because like I saw that no matter what white does, if they take the rook, it's over. Because they can't move their king at all, because f5 falls and their position falls apart. And always look for checks. Like, this is a forcing move, because it forces a reaction out of white, because it's check. And they can't even take it, because, like I said before, this is checkmate. And you have to make sure that I actually put this at a very high performance rating. You gotta make sure that your sacrifices are sound. Your king is safe. Try not to go down. Try not to lose a pawn for no reason, or any pieces for no reason. Make sure all your sacrifices are sound, in case your opponent actually does somehow survive. You need to make sure that even if your sacrifice does not lead to a checkmate, then it'll get you an advantage in the end game. So like that's like properly how to attack. Like, use your pawns, remove their key defenders. Like, in this case, it was white's knight, because it's intercepting a lot of my attack on the g file, which is why I played h5. Like I said, because it forces their knight to move. Because if they didn't move it, I would play h4 and just attack it. And make sure to calculate your sacrifices out before you play them. So, that's how to properly attack. Remember all those rules, and it should be